We're starting on mute. Say hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Let's bring on our special guest with excellent timing. Excellent timing as we're jumping in on the show. Our guest every Monday, you get his K props, his tout props. Shout out to our guy, Doc. Doc, how's it going over there?
Signed in just in time. How's it going?
Beautiful. Great timing by you. It's been going good, though. Can't complain. The record's getting out of the dumps every day. We're on a little hot streak finally. It's nice. How's your new carpet?
It is so comfortable. So comfortable. And sorry for those who were here last week. They turned off our internet and I couldn't get it back on. So
no worries at all. But
appreciate the carpet, patience there. Yeah, we're back today though.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, carpet is nice. So just don't spill anything, Doc. So shout out to you.
Yep.
We've got 12 games on the card here. I've got 2 official plays already in the Angels game. And I've got a couple more circled. I've been trying to sniff out these weird lines. I think we have some of them today. Shout out to everyone in the chat. As always, we appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. Record sitting at 125 and 143 and 20, down 20 units. Cut 20 units into my my deficit in the last week. So we're rocking and rolling right now, and we will rock and roll with your White Sox Guardians game, starting off easily the most unappealing, uninteresting pitching matchup I've had to see this year. Jimmy Lambert versus Hunter Gaddis. Two guys that are, I don't know. I mean, these are like creative players, Doc. I don't want nothing to do with this game. I absolutely lean Guardians just because of how bad the White Sox are. But I passed on this game pretty easily. Just nothing to do with this game here, Doc.
No, me neither. Same thing from a strikeout perspective. I mean, could either one of these guys hit their strikeout prop? Sure. Could there be runs scored? Sure. Could it's just this is like shooting fish in a barrel. So if you gave me a free play on this game, I would probably Sox money line, but it's a total guess. I really not this, and like I said, I crossed these 2 pitchers off of my strikeout props list fairly quickly.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're on the same page there, Doc. Just nothing to do with this game. Nothing I want to do here. Shout out to Rocco mentioning White Sox first 5 there. Gavin Sheets over 1.5 bases. Someone else, Mr. Heat, also dropped a Gavin Sheets home run prop in there as well. So shout out to Gavin Sheets today. A little bit of love in the chat.
If you're playing them, hey, if you're playing them, get your money. That's all I got to say. I just don't know if I'm going to be on anything in that game because there's so many other spots to attack on this card.
Agreed. Rangers Pirates, our next game on the board, and this is the first of the little fishy lines here. I'm not betting this game, but honestly, it feels like it should be a Rangers smash spot here again. Yesterday, we had a bunch of people shout out the Rangers, and I should have been on them, honestly. They dominate the Rockies. And then they cashed all our bets when we were there the other day as well, which maybe is making me see the Rangers with little rose-colored glasses here. But I think they can dominate the Pirates today. Pirates are worst against righties this month. 30th, 55 weighted runs created plus. Dane Dunning has been remarkably good this year. But it does feel like there's just a wall. And Dane Dunning's going to hit the wall eventually. They're 6th in offense right now this month against righties to the Rangers. 111 weighted runs created plus. 2nd full season, 116. So I definitely lean towards the Rangers, but this line kind of got me off of it, honestly.
Nothing from me on this one as well. Yeah, you are right in that the Rangers offense by comparison to Pittsburgh is definitely flying much higher right now. Dane Dunning, the thing about Dane Dunning though, is that just really has been up and down as a pitcher this year. In fact, to start the year, wasn't even getting like starter reps. Like he was coming out of the bullpen, and even now he's still only going four or so to 5 innings. Dunning is who you would think he is. He's a sinker ball thrower. Doesn't really have a wipeout pitch. His slider is okay, but even that, just not really a guy who's going to go out there and just set a bunch of guys down. He's there to hold the fort down for 5 innings. And Ortiz for the Pirates, nothing real special about him, and I don't say that in a derogatory sense. I mean, he's just kind of like an average pitcher. His fastball can get up there, so he can top out at around the 95 to 97 range, but spin is average. Throws a slider, which is his wipeout pitch, but even that, 86 miles an hour, not the fastest slider you'll ever see, nor is the 2,400 RPMs of spin. So, I think that Dunning has had more consistency problems recently. So, like I said, if you gave me a free play on this one, I would probably take the Pirates, especially at the plus money. But this is not one I am actively looking to put any of my own money behind.
Yeah, and Rocco mentioning it or putting it well in the chat. He's got a lot of Rangers props today, thinking that Ortiz gets hit today. But he's also saying that the line's telling him that Dunning gets hit today, and I agree. This line just makes me feel like Dunning's going to give up some runs, and even the first 5 numbers over 4.5 juiced at -125. So yeah, I think that these guys get hit. I lean over in this game. I'm not going to play it. Definitely lean over in this game, and I like your hitter props as well there, Rocco. Arizona, Philadelphia, another game where last night I was like, wow, okay, -200 for the Phillies. Interesting. We'll see how that line moves, because I thought it was going to move towards the Diamondbacks, and now you wake up, it's -240 for the Phillies. Well, everyone on the Phillies, seemingly. The books are just keep moving it that way, and Craig Wood or whoever let us know the money movement and money counts on there in the chat as always. Thank you for that. The Phillies have been the worst team against lefties this month, 47 weighted runs created plus, but Tommy Henry is not obviously a very, not enough lefty you hang your hat on. So I guess I could see it, and we know historically, Zach Wheeler. Well, I don't know if I can say historically, I guess, but last year he was just much better at home than on the road. I'm actually looking up his splits now. Obviously, small sample size for this year's splits, 29 innings pitched at home, 21 innings pitched on the road, a 3.34 compared to a 5.06. And last year, he hit a 185 compared to a 3.84 on the road and home. So I guess I lean towards the Phillies after that movement, but it just, like I said, all the stats and data kind of says like Arizona Diamondbacks here. They're second against righties this month, 122 weighted runs created plus. So if I'm putting my money on this game, I'm absolutely not putting it on -240. That seems pretty obvious. So give me Diamondbacks here, I guess.
This is the Diamondback spot for me, to be quite honest. So when I look at offensively for the month of May, and I'll qualify this in just a moment, but the Diamondbacks, I mean, only 18.3% K percentage versus righties, 122 runs created plus, and a ISO of 200, which the ISO and the weighted runs created plus are both third and second respectively. Granted, I know the only right-handed pitcher that they've really faced so far in that period that has really been worth anything has been Mitch Keller. However, it hasn't been all smooth sailing for Wheeler so far this year, not even at home. And when you factor in those offensive numbers, the other thing that I look at here too is that Wheeler is a pitcher that thrives off of a whiff rating. So 81st percentile for the season on your whiff rating. Over the last 15 days for the month of May, the Diamondbacks second in baseball in lowest swinging strike rate at 8.6%. They're just not swinging and missing. They're only one of a handful of teams that are even under 10%, much less 9%. So give me the Diamondbacks here. And, I went kind of back and forth here a little bit about how to play this one. And where I landed on for this one would be the first 5 run line, Diamondbacks plus 1.5. It's a little juiced at minus 124, but I think that has enough value to take it. I think that you can also look to play the Diamondbacks first 5 team total over as well. I'm not saying that they go out there and just hammer the shit out of Wheeler. I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is that when you look at this offense against right-handed pitching, not only for the last 15 to 20 days for the month of May, but also for the whole season at large, you get a team that does produce runs against them very, very well. So I will take the Diamondbacks in the first 5. I would also look at the Diamondbacks for the over their first 5 team total.
Yeah, I like it. I do. I lean that way. The movement scares me off a little bit. So I'm passing, but I agree wholeheartedly with your outlook there. I had Arizona first 5 full game money line written down from last night, but I'm not going to move on it just because of that 40-cent movement to the Phillies for some odd reason. We'll figure out what it is later. Shout out to Roger that in here. Craig Wood, Mr. Heat in here. Appreciate you guys. Craig Wood mentioning 58% of the tickets and 17% of the money on the Philadelphia Phillies, and the line just keeps moving that way, making it more appealing to bet the Diamondbacks, it seems.
Yep.
So, well, we'll see how it goes tonight. Let's move on to my favorite team in baseball. No, not the Boston Red Sox, the St. Louis Cardinals. I should look this up now. I need to see how many times or how many days in a row now have I bet the Cardinals, because I have been betting the Cardinals fairly religiously. Is the day against the Red Sox. After that series when they seemingly turned it on, I've put a lot of stock into them. I started betting them on, I guess, the 17th is when I started doubling and tripling up and quadrupling up on the Cardinals, and it's been cashing, thankfully. Now they're actually facing a shitty team, so it's tough to bet them here. Obviously, minus 200 is not ideal. We've been getting good plus money prices, low vig prices for the Cardinals when they were on against Milwaukee and the Dodgers here, so that was great. And what's funny enough, the Cardinals have been hot, but Jordan Montgomery, 6 straight starts where his team has lost. And he was the best pitcher on the staff for a little bit. When the Cardinals were in their shit spots earlier in the season, Montgomery was just going out there and pitching pretty well. And it's not like his starts have been horrible. His last start was okay. 5 1/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs there, and a 2-3 loss. Got touched up against the Cubs, 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs. I just don't think that the Reds offense can do this. They're against lefties, 27th, 78 weighted runs created plus. Braden Williamson, 1 start so far in the majors. It was against the Rockies, at the Rockies. It was good. So I was a little impressed, but this is kind of a different animal, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and take St. Louis Cardinals first 5, -1. -1 at plus 100 there. Not my favorite bets, obviously. But I was just kind of trying to find a bet with low enough vig that I could stomach it, and I looked at a -1 full game, and it was like -160, and I was like, ugh, this is just not appealing. So, yeah, first 5 -1 here for me, Doc. What do you think?
Cardinals are nothing for me. Officially, it will be a pass, but I can't blame anybody who's taken the Cardinals for this one. And the Reds, with obviously with Williamson on the mound, Montgomery has been very, very, very serviceable. He's actually hit what his strikeout prop is tonight. In his 9 starts, he has hit that 5 times, including 3 of the last 4. When you couple that in with the Reds' K percentage against left-handed pitching lately, just close to 24%, it's not out of the realm of possibility here to think that this is just an absolute Cardinal smack spot. So from a strikeout perspective, Williamson is not a play, obviously. I have gone back and forth on the Montgomery one all day. I wanted to see their lineup. It was as I expected, 9 righties, nobody else. And Montgomery does set those down at a little bit of a better rate. It's not too bad. 266 versus batting average allowed versus righties, 275 versus lefties, strikeout percentage 22.2 to 17.5. Again, not a huge variance here. So I think you're on the right track. There's not really a whole lot of other things that I'm looking to try to get cute cute with, especially when the pitching matchup is such a disparity like this one is.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get cute, and I'm just gonna bet the Cardinals here. I also looked at Cardinals first 5 team total over 3.5. Another bet that I don't love, but at plus 120, I definitely looked at it and thought about it. I need to double check. Actually, I should check the weather. I haven't checked the weather today in any of these games, and it's funny hearing me say that out loud. I sound like an 80-year-old man. I need to check the weather.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, no, wind's not even blowing in. It's blowing in, but not blowing enough.
It's barely blowing in, though. It's like 5-6 miles an hour in this
Sweet.
game. You'll be fine.
Beautiful. Cardinals first 5 -1, and I'll come back and see if I'm on that team total before the end of the show. Next game, Toronto versus Tampa Bay. A great series here, and the line has been steadily moving towards Toronto here. And Chris Bassett not washed up. First 2 weeks, first 3 weeks, I thought, oh man, is this guy washed up? Did the Blue Jays just give $3 million or 3 years, whatever $1 million to a guy that's going to be horrible? And last 3 starts, his opponents have not gotten a run in the full game. He's not given up a run. Yankees 3 hits, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs. Atlanta complete game, 2 hits, shutout. Pittsburgh Pirates 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs. Do I think he can do it again here today? Long story short, no. But again, the line movement is kind of scary. And JPZ mentioned the line movement in basketball last night. Thank God that this is not basketball, because basketball is fucked to bet on, obviously. In baseball, we're actually starting to manage it a little bit better. So I respect the line movements. I respect them. Do they always cash? No, obviously not. But I respect them enough to stay off here. Rays are still first against righties. They're in a bullpen day today. I think they were in a bullpen day yesterday. Josh Fleming is going to be the primary today, so we all know how that kind of goes. But I just ended up passing on this game as well. I lean Toronto here for sure. -120, like I said, for the Rays last night. Now back down to -110 each way on Bovada. So I'm interested to see how that ends up working out. So I lean Blue Jays. What do you think, Doc?
Blue Jays for me. I actually, FanDuel didn't have a first 5 out, but I actually don't even mind taking plus 110. I actually don't. Actually, wait, I think they did. They didn't earlier, but they do now. Yeah, they do now. So right now, Jays at the -122 for the first 5. I don't mind that one. What I would rather do is take the plus money and go Jays first 5 -0.5 at plus 108. That is on FanDuel right now. I'll make that official. Look, and I can't take credit for this one, because shout out to Sharpie for turning me on to this one. The Chris Bassett resurgence, you can, a part of it, you can tie back to his mastery and understanding of PitchCom. So if you look at his first few starts, coming in, didn't understand the way the PitchCom works. The communication was all messed up. He was all over the place. Since he's gotten it, I actually read this too, that like he's become like fanatical about the PitchCom and the communication and whatever, and it's really paying off. I mean, you can see it in the guy's numbers. So, back to your question, do I think he can do it again? Yeah, I do. Especially when the Rays are running a bullpen day that they love to do like every 3 days or so. What is it? It's like McClanahan, Rasmussen, and Fleming, and then bullpen days. Is that kind of how they roll these days? Or McClanahan? And
it's fucked. They had the deepest, best
1 or 2 more guys, and then a bullpen day. Yep.
Yeah, they have the best rotation of any Tampa Bay Rays team ever, literally ever, coming into the season, and they've
lost McClanahan and Rasmussen, and then bullpen days.
Yeah, now they're just gone. Like, they had fucking Springs gone, Rasmussen fucking gone. Now they're gonna get Glasnow back soon, but
we think
we'll see how he looks.
Yeah.
I still love the fucking guy, and he's got all the incentive in the world to pitch well, because he's a free agent next year.
He is, but yeah. I'll ride the Bassett PitchCom train here, and I will take the -0.5 first 5 Blue Jays plus 108 second play.
Yeah, I like the Blue Jays here too. I'm not going to move on it. I respect the Rays, but I like the Blue Jays here as well. And yes, Craig Wood, I agree with you. I think that the bullpen of the Rays is going to start feeling that burn a little bit, like he's mentioning, and they're starting to regress because, like we mentioned, those starters falling like flies. They're gonna have to start leaning heavier and heavier and heavier on them, and it's just gonna wear them out. So we'll see. Great series here. Dodgers Braves here. Could the NLCS for what felt like ever. This kind of felt like everyone's penciled in NLCS for the last couple of years. The Padres have something to say about that now, but it still feels like this is just kind of two best teams over there. So who knows? But we've got a shit pitching matchup for these two squads. Morton versus Gavin Stone. Doc, I hope you'll be able to give us more insight on Gavin Stone, because after one start, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. Not many people were impressed. He's supposed to be a beast. Change up from hell, according to the Dodgers. And Charlie Morton, just keeps doing it. It's early in the season, so I guess, no fatigue, no soreness has really set in yet for my man. But he keeps doing it. 6 2/3, 7 hits, no earned runs at Texas. And a Texas lineup that's been just smashing the ball.
Yep.
Versus the Red Sox, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, another really good lineup. The New York Mets, not as good, but still quality. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. He's been solid this year. That's really all you can ask for Charlie Morton right now. So I didn't have any play on this one either, Doc. Its line the line has moved towards the Braves, -145 last night, now -160. But I'll tell you, all the signs the stats point toward the Dodgers. They're third best against righties this month, this year they're third best. This month they're 8th, 109. Braves against righties just okay. 21st this month, 91 rated runs created plus. So I passed, but it seems like it's a Brave spot just based off line movement, which, of course, again, it's not undefeated.
Yeah, so what I would advise everybody on Gavin Stone is I wouldn't be rushing out to put my money on him at the window tonight. However, give the guy a little grace. He's a lot better than his first start would indicate. So his problem that I think he's probably he's gonna run into as he goes deeper in games and until he develops a fourth pitch is right now he only throws. He throws 3 pitches, but really he only throws 2. The four-seam fastball and the aforementioned changeup from hell. So, you can have the best changeup in the world, but if hitters only have to choose from one of 2 pitches that you're going to throw, it makes it a lot easier to hit. And actually, in that first game against the Phillies, he threw fastball 45, changeup 43, and slider 12. I think what happened is as they started to, or as he was missing with his other pitches, he started to do what a lot of young pitchers do, is becomes very reliant on his fastball. And, Gavin Stone is a guy whose fastball is okay. It's not overpowering. It tops out right in the low to mid 90s. Spin is average. The changeup can be a very, very money put away pitch because it comes in looking, at least his does, it comes in looking just like the fastball. And in fact, it comes in whereas his four seam tries to paint the corners both ways. The changeup comes in high, drops down a little bit middle in. So when you're taking about 10 miles an hour off of the velo on that one, it can be a tough pitch to hit. Like I said, I would give him another chance and I would watch him intently because the Braves are a team that you can rack up outs against. You can especially rack up strikeouts against because of how aggressive they are at swinging at the plate. That's been a Snedeker thing ever since he's been on the staff, is that they will accept a higher number of strikeouts because they have guys to swing to go yard. And I saw the comment, you're saying Olsen goes yard today. It's very possible. It's very possible that a lot of guys in the top of that lineup can go yard. I'm not saying that they will, because like I said, I still believe in Gavin Stone, but I need to see him show against a better opponent. And Charlie Morton, old man just keeps rolling. We've talked a lot. I've talked a lot about this show and different ones about his home road splits over the last few years. He is just coming back from injury, not all the way back yet. And the Dodgers have actually done a really, really nice job of not striking out and putting the ball in play against Morton. 138 plate appearances this lineup, only 28 strikeouts for a 20.3 K percentage. And the Dodgers only have an under 20 K percentage against right-handed pitching the last 15 days. So you just saying, you may hear about Charlie Morton again soon from me on my Twitter feed. That's all I'm going to say. So if you, you may hear about him soon. I haven't fully decided yet, but pretty close to moving in a direction with him.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad you keep the mysteriousness up. Doc, follow him on Twitter at SpinDocSports if you want to go see more about Charlie Morton, potentially. Detroit Tigers versus the Kansas City Royals. Next game on our slate here. No action for me there. Doc will tell us about it hopefully soon, hopefully later. Detroit Tigers Royals here. An interesting line, I thought here. Minus 110 each way, and I thought the Tigers might get more love here. Honestly, Brady Singer's been, I don't know, he's been okay this year. He's gotten better in the last few starts. His beginning of the season was rough, and he was definitely a guy that I was hoping to back this year. 6 innings, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 7 hits off of the San Diego Padres. Not the best, and the Padres team is not really hitting. White Sox, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. That's solid. Against the A's, 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. And Lorenzen has been solid. I think this has been 4 starts now of just him just being objectively good. No earned runs. Last time out against Pittsburgh, back-to-back 7-inning, 1 earned runs against Cleveland and New York. After that, or before that, excuse me. Detroit been hitting righties better as of late, but so have the Royals. These are just 2 offenses that are just anemic at times. So I definitely lean towards the Tigers here, but I pass on this game, unfortunately. This line was just a little confusing to me. I thought it was going to be like a minus 130 for the Tigers here, but minus 110 each way has me a little off.
I don't really want to get involved. I personally try not to. I try whenever I can not to bet when it's just 2 crap teams playing against each other, and that's obviously we have 1 below average team and 1 bad team. If you gave me a free play on this one, I'd probably put it on the Tigers just at plus money. But this is not one I'm actively going out to look and bet. If we're talking about strikeout props for this one, nothing here from me. Lorenzen over 4.5 at minus 105 might have some minor value, but even he's been a guy that goes out and gets guys out, doesn't necessarily get strikeouts. Singer, at least earlier today, was at 4.5 at minus 140. I don't really feel like paying minus 140 juice for a strikeout prop on a Royals pitcher, and I especially don't want to play an under, even though it's plus money. It's barely plus money against the Tigers on the road. So nothing from me.
Agreed. Shout out to the chat as always. We appreciate you guys. Big O, Viper, Real Deal, Top Set got some plays in last night. Phillies -1, Braves money line. Lions move your way in both, so I like both of those plays. And Christopher Commentini mentioning about Carmelo. Shut to Mello. Legend. Astros Brewers here, Doc, and I think I'm going to add the Astros on my card here. I just don't know how. I've been mentioning for a couple of days before he came back, when the Astros get Altuve, watch out, et cetera, they're going to be a juggernaut. He comes in a squishy, easy lineup or easy series against the A's, which saw me lose 2 -300 fades there in very disappointing, heartbreaking fashions. And we'll talk about another one here today. But I just was a little surprised to see this line, and it's moving towards the Astros, so it makes me feel a little better about betting the Astros here. Corbin Burns has just not been really the same guy this year. He's had his moments. 6 innings, 2 hits, no one runs against your Royals, a team that sucks, but it's a good start. Last time out, he got touched up a little bit by the Cardinals, 3 earned runs, 6 innings. Cardinals are hot, like we've been talking about, but they still got him. I think the Astros are going to be in that same spot. So I mentioned it with the Cardinals. I will probably be betting the Houston Astros religiously for the next coming days, as I have been with the Cardinals. So I'm going to probably move on a first 5 full game split here on the Houston Astros. What are you on here, Doc?
The Astros for sure. I'm with you on the first 5 on this one, so I'll make that an official one for me as well. With Corbin Burnes, there's really only one thing you need to know, is that he throws a decent complement of pitches, but 3 are his main mix of pitches: cutter, curveball, changeup, and you compare velos from last year to this year. Cutter 95 versus 94, curveball 81.6 versus 80.1, changeup 90.3 versus 89.3. Doesn't matter how much spin you put on the ball. Doesn't matter how you position yourself, everything. That is just not going to work when you're a pitcher that throws the mix that he does. So his spin is down on his curveball, and the velo is down on all pitches. And keep in mind, this velo for Corbin Burnes is down 1 mile an hour for the season. That's with it being up each 2 of the last 3 starts. So he's actually bumped that up. Now, will that continue tonight? Maybe, I guess, but he's just not the same Corbin Burnes as you saw last year. So when you get that against a suddenly rejuvenated Astros lineup, and you get a guy like Javier on the mound, this is an Astros spot all the way for me. So first five for the Astros. The money line here is plus 106, and that is what I will take. The first 5 money line plus 106.
Beautiful there, Doc. I'll join you. I'll use that 106. I got a minus 115 full game money line as well. So shout out to your Houston Astros. By the way, I mentioned that, I want to jump on them before they get hot or whatever, like I was saying.
Yeah.
They're 9-1 in their last 10 with a 7-game win streak right now. So, it's hotter. Yeah, it's the A's, I guess, but
all right.
So let's jump on the wave, I guess. The Houston Astros wave. It's gonna be fun watching this game, at least. Actually, I won't watch this game because blackouts. I forgot about that, but it doesn't matter. Shout out to baseball for that. Giants, Minnesota Twins at the Twins here, Doc. Your squad here. You know a lot about the Twins, and I'm sure you've watched Bailey Ober a ton.
I have,
year, and I am a big Bailey Ober guy. I don't know why all the time I feel like he gets lined very high. It feels like every time he's on the bump, it's a kind of a ridiculous price. But as I say that, his last 3 starts, minus 115, plus 117, and plus 170. And he's pitched well in all of them. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run against the Dodgers and a win there. Against the Padres, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. Against the Guardians, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs. I like this team here, Doc. I really do. And the Giants against righties this month have been struggling. 84 weighted runs created plus, full season, 110. I just ultimately end up not trusting the Minnesota bats, which is kind of the story of the Minnesota Twins. And hopefully they go out to make some additions. I passed on this game again. Rocco Rogers liking an under, and shot to Viper MD, by the way, liking a first 3 under 2.5 there. And Houston and Milwaukee, 2.5 is really high. I thought that would be like a 1.5 for these 2 pitchers, Viper MB. So shout out to you. It makes me a little trepidatious there, a little worried for you. But yeah, I like the Minnesota Twins here, but I just can't move on them, unfortunately. Doc, what do you think about your squad?
I mean, the Twin. I would like the Twins a lot better if their money line wasn't 156. They're a lot better at home this year, 14-8. Giants are only 7-13 on the road. Offensive output significantly up at their home field. There's no wind or anything. That's funny. I'm looking out my window right now. I mean, it is just gorgeous here. It's a perfect night for baseball. You got your mid to high 70s with no wind whatsoever. So you would expect to get the Twins offense as is. The thing that I don't mind a Twins team total full game over 4.5. They've been hitting that, especially against mediocre pitching and bullpens with relative ease at home. But I haven't pulled the trigger yet. My concern here with the Twins is over the last 15 days, and I know they face some high strikeout pitchers like Kershaw, et cetera, but their swing metrics have just been god awful bad. And I use numbers to validate my point, but I mean, I can tell this just by being from here and being a fan and watching them. They have one of the worst CSWs in baseball, called strike strike plus whiff percentage. They have one of the worst swinging strike rates. They have one of the lowest total contact rates. All of this is in the last 15 days. And so, yes, I know they've been on a West Coast road trip. And when you're going it's just not a good mix when we travel on the road like that to back-to-back West Coast. So get a little bit of a reprieve by being at home tonight. I see a lot of fours in the card tonight for the Twins scoring. So I just don't want to touch it. So pass from me.
Agreed there. Pass game. Let's move on to a game that was mentioned earlier today. Miami, Colorado here in Coors. Edward Cabrera versus Chase Anderson, who can't believe he's still in the league. This is the same Chase Anderson I'm thinking of. But yeah, this is just crazy. The Rockies are just a reclamation project. That's crazy that he's still in the league then. Here's the thing. The line's moving towards the Rockies, and I like the Rockies here. I really do. It's just I always struggle to bet these games in Coors, honestly. The only things I really enjoy betting in Coors are unders, honestly, just because the total's so high all the time, and you know how that goes. But we had someone mention that Edward Cabrera had some blisters a couple days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, whenever he pitched.
Yep.
And he's like, "Are blisters going to heal that quickly?" They're not going to be healed. They'll be a little, whatever. Everyone's had blisters before, but it'll definitely get raw after some pitches, and it's going to affect them at some point. So I guess I could see the Rockies winning this ball game, but I just ultimately don't want to ever bet on games in Coors Field, really. It's just not something that appeals me ever. And I'll mention the numbers against righties here for both squads. 26th are the Miami Marlins, 83 weighted runs created plus, 27th this month, 87 or 78 weighted runs created plus. And the Rockies are bidding a little better against righties, 15th this month, 96 weighted runs created plus, compared to an 84 full season. So I guess it's Rockies, but I don't want nothing to do in this game, honestly.
No, thanks. I looked at Cabrera pretty hard from a strikeout perspective, but then with him being on the road in Coors, the 4.5 is a number, especially against a team like the Rockies that you would think he'd be able to hit with relative ease. But when it's one of your first times pitching in altitude like that, especially for a guy that has break on some of the balls like his does, Coors does weird things to you. So you add that plus the blisters. I get why it's a 4.5 for this one. This is probably one where not only am I not betting on, I probably am not going to watch very much of this game either.
Shout out to Raccoon. Shout out to Cheshire Cat, who should change his name to Cheshire Raccoon. He thought he was catching some groundhogs in his raccoon, instead of caught a large raccoon. So shout out to you, Cheshire Cat, aka the raccoon catcher. Yeah, I lean that way too with the Colorado Rockies guys, but I can't get there. And Edward pitched in the Coors once last year. And it was shocking to see this, and especially because your first start in Coors ever. 6 innings, 1 hit ball, no earned runs, 9 Ks, 4 walks, obviously, because he's Edward Cabrera, but a really good start there. Shout out to him. Let's move on. Let's go to the game that I'm actually not excited to talk about. Red Sox Angels here. This was my fishy line play of the day, essentially. I expected the Red Sox to be favored here by a lot more. Especially when Jaime Barria is on the bump. I was going to call him Jamie, but come on, I would have lost my Spanish card there. Tanner Houck has been good, and this is an important start to him, but I kind of throw out all of the stats and all the statistics out of the window when I see a line that just really does not make much sense to me, and the line has moved towards the Angels. It was minus 110 last night, and the line movement towards them kind of has buoyed me into taking Angels' first 5 full game here against my Red Sox. I don't do it often. I hate betting against the Red Sox, and if I lose this bet, it's going to particularly piss me off even more. But I'm on Angels money line minus 110. Minus 109. First 5 money line minus 115. Something is going to go wrong for the Red Sox here, and it feels like it's going to be a Tanner Houck explosion.
I'll let you take it. I'm probably not going to have very much on this game. I crossed these strikeout props off very, very quickly. For me, Houck is lined correctly with the 4.5. If you have to have a play on this game, I would play the over here, but understand that you're getting him on the road, traveling across the country at a heavily juiced price against a team that has actually done a really nice job and has an under 22% K percentage against left-handed pitching for over the last 15 days. So, or I'm sorry, right-handed pitching for the Angels. So it's just not one that I'm actively looking to put any money behind. So I will. I don't know what to cheer for you in this one, Jose. Do I cheer for the Red Sox or do I cheer for you to win money? I'm assuming the money.
Yeah, this time it's the money. Unfortunately,
Okay, money it is. You
it's
got
the
it.
money. And yeah, this was the first bet I made this morning, and it's not my favorite bet, like I've said.
All right.
And this will be Berea's first start this year, and he's pitched really well out of the bullpen. Last two appearances, 2 2/3, 2 hits, no earned runs against the Orioles at the Orioles, and versus the aforementioned very hot Texas Rangers. 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, not earned. So I think he pitches well here today, and it seems like it might be a blow-up start for Tanner Houck. Leroy Flood asking about the first 5 over 5.5 in this game. I guess I lean that way. Fifth are the Red Sox this month against righties, and fifth full season, 111, 112 weighted runs created plus. Angels are hitting the ball well right now, too. Excuse me. Seventh, 110 weighted runs created plus. Full season, 104, 12th. So I leaned over as well, but 5.5 is not my favorite number. I'll tell you that, Leroy. Obviously, I'd much rather have a 4.5. But the 5.5 definitely makes you feel like one of these guys is going to blow up. And like I said, the line being the way it is, it feels like Tanner Houck is going to have a blow up start here today. So regrettably, I'm on the Angels, doubled up, and I'll be up late watching this ball game, unfortunately. Stewing either angrily because I've won money or happy that I've lost 2 bets, I guess. I don't know. It's going to be fucking a very conflicting night for me. I don't know. Last game on the card, and the other bet that I didn't make yet, but I knew I was going to make because I just wait for these minus 300 fades because they're gonna go up probably. They're gonna go up. I am now this year so far on the minus 300 fade, and if you are new to this program this year, I fade every team that is a minus 300. This year I have faded them every time. Last year I faded them pretty. It was more than a normal average gambler should bet on a minus 300 or fade a minus 300, I should say, but it wasn't enough. And it was a very profitable angle last year. Definitely didn't have the win percentage. It was like, I don't have the exact record off my head, but it was like 6-12, but you were up like 14 units just because of how big the underdogs were. So there was 2 against the Astros. It was the A's. They lost both games close. It was very funny. The first game, it was like 2-3. And I bet first 5 money line, full game money line. They both lose by 1 run, classic. And then the next day, I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to learn my lesson. I'm going to bet A's money line and then A's plus 1.5 because all of these minus 300 games are close. And I promise you, I remember them all. They're all close. Feels like only like one of them have been blowouts this year. And there have been, and I think there's been 5 spots this year. Let me count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5, 6 spots actually as well for me here. And you know what? I did not write minus 300 fade on one of them. So 7 spots, technically, 7 bets on minus 300 fades. I've lost them all because they've not cashed. And like I said, yesterday was a 2-0 loss. So I didn't even cash a plus 1.5. But I'm right back to the well again. Luis Castillo has been struggling as of late. La Piedra, shout out to him. He's been the Pebble recently as well. He gave up, let me see here, 5 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned against the Red Sox. 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned against the Rangers. 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs against the Astros. The Seattle Mariners as a team against lefties this whole season, 83 weighted runs created plus, 94 this month, so a little better, but still 23rd in the league. Kyle Muller, you're the ace. I use that in heavy quotations. Please be the ace today. A's full game money line. A's plus 1.5. Yet again, I'm going to check Bet Online to get a good price on that right now. Plus 270 and plus 132. Now, I can only imagine what my record would be like if I had not done any of these minus 300 fades. It would definitely be at least 7 units better. But we're right on, and we're going to keep doing this because they're going to start cashing for us. So
I don't blame you a bit. It goes back to whenever we come up on when I'm with you on this and talking about like, the Yankees at like, or whoever at like minus 265 or something like that. I'm like, in a professional baseball game, unless you're parlaying it with something, which even then I wouldn't advise to do, you just can't take that straight up. You just can't. Just thinking about how negative EV it is over time. So I personally have no play on this game, though. Although, if you're gonna look at something for this game, I would tell you to not be afraid of Kyle Muller's strikeouts for this one. So 4.5, it was 4.5, minus 120. He's only hit this in 2 of his 9 starts this year. So why am I telling you this? Well, first of all, against left-handed pitching, the Mariners 28.7% strikeout percentage combined with only a 7.3% walk percentage. One of the things that I look for is at the variance between how much is a team striking out and how much are they walking during a certain period of time. And the disparity that the Mariners have is one of the largest in Major League Baseball. It's only topped by the Phillies, who are 26.7 to 3.7% walk percentage. So Muller does not have great advanced numbers. However, the swing metrics for the Mariners have just been god awful bad. Over the last 15 days, you have them almost dead last in so many different categories. Contact rate outside the zone, they are under 50%. They're at 47% when MLB average is 57. They are for total contact, they're at 69.9%. They're the only team in Major League Baseball in the month of May to have a total contact percentage on all swings under 70%. And they're also dead last in swinging strike rate at 14.7% when MLB average is 11.1. I could go on. I think you get my point. The 4.5, yeah, it might seem bigger for a pitcher like Muller, who I know we quoted and said he's the staff ace, but Seattle's swing metrics have just been hideously bad. They are a team where if you're betting on a strikeout prop for them, you're betting the over or you're betting nothing.
Wow, it's gonna be fun. I just did the quick mathematics. By the way, I had to add one more minus 300 in there. I had to label these things so I can come back and know exactly which minus 300 fades are which. But the straight up so far, there have been 6, 0-6 so far. This will be the 7th minus 300 fade, and those are all just money lines. And the last 2 I've doubled up on because I've been feeling good recently, as you guys can tell. So we'll see if we can make it 1-6. And I'll just keep saying it. We hit 2 plus 270s. We'll be right back and we'll be 2-6. And it will be almost even with the minus 200 or minus 300 fade this year.
Yep.
So we have to have faith. And this is more from myself than any of the people in the chat. This is more from myself that I have to tell myself to have faith.
Yeah. I always tell people, think of betting those like going to the horse track and how it's possible where there's 12 races in a session. You lose 11 races, you hit 1 and you're up and you walk out up for the day. That's what counts, not how many you win. If you care about how many you win, then play a bunch of juice stuff. If you care about like how many you win, I care about what the net of money that I go home with at the end of the day is.
Exactly. And that's what was mentally, like fucking me up last year. It's like I said, I don't remember the record was off my top of my head, but it was like 7-14. It's like, Jesus, like you're betting these and you're losing like every other day and you're like, whatever, but you hit 2.
All that counts.
And you're back. And these were obviously last year we documented they're very streaky. These minus 300 fades. They're very streaky. When one falls, and we just need one to fall, damn it. When one falls, I feel like the others will come. So it'll be fun. Top set on it. He said last night, today would be the day. He's like, I'm excited for him. Excited for this one. Let's see if it cashes. Late night baseball tonight is going to be a lot of fun for us. Doc, as always, I appreciate you for joining the program. I'm glad that the Wi-Fi stayed up the whole time
Me
too.
too.
That's very nice. I love your new background, by the way, as well. Shout out to the Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Thank
Uh,
you.
I will start off here. Let's recap our plays. Because I've just been doubling up essentially is kind of what my last couple of days have been. I like one team, one play, and I just double up on it. Shout out to Bubano. So I've got 4 games that I like, and basically just it feels like 4 plays, but I've doubled up on them, so it seems like a lot now. Angels first 5 full game money lines -115, first 5 full game -109. Astros first 5 full game -115, first 5 +106. Cardinals first 5 -1, not doubling up there because of the juice. And Oakland first 5 is actually no full game +270, and then full game +1.5 at +132. Because again, all these fucking games are close. So I'll
Agreed.
take them. I'll take all those, and hopefully we can cash both of them there, Doc. But what do you think about this slate, and what do you want?
Yeah, so I gave out 3 during the show. The Diamondbacks first 5 +1.5 at -124. The Blue Jays first 5 money or -0.5. I'm sorry, not the money line at +108, and the Astros first 5 money line at +106. And before we go off the air, since I'll be tweeting it shortly, I said you'll hear about Morton later. That's our tout strikeout prop for the day. Morton under 6.5 strikeouts. Just a few quick reasons as far as why. So there is some phenomenal history here from the Dodgers with Morton in well over 130 plate appearances. So I talked about this. Only a 20.3% strikeout percentage. Dodgers 18.9% last 350 plate appearances in the last 15 days. They have one of the best gaps, meaning that they walk at a high percentage, almost a 9.4% clip. That's important because Morton so far this year is hovering right around 9%. And when he gets over that 10% threshold, the number of strikeouts that he gets, regardless if it's home or on the road, drastically goes down. Behind the plate in this one, you do have Alan Porter, who is a hitter's slanted umpire. In games that he umpires, pitcher strikeouts can go down by as much as 10%. He's only at 20.7%, which is under average. And then, last but not least, you have some problems that Morton has had with getting strike one on hitters. So he's only at 57.3%. I talked about how pitchers that I typically look for from an over perspective do tend to be at that 60% range unless their opponent is crazy the other way. The Dodgers are not. They're at 59.6%, and they have some really, really good swing metrics over the last 15 days. They are one of the best teams in baseball at not swinging at pitches outside of the zone. They're at 24.8% compared to an MLB average of 28.6%. That's a significant underage. Why that's important is because one of the ways that Morton does get ahead on hitters is by making them chase at a 62nd percentile rating and whiffs at 71st percentile, which the Dodgers are not missing a lot of pitches either. Swinging strike percentage under 9.5%. I'll tweet all this out in just a minute here. This was at a -145, so it was a little juiced. The juice has gone up a little bit. What I would advise you, if you miss the early run of juice, I would advise you to just play the unit straight and not worry about the juice. That way you can protect yourself in case something silly happens. So right now, though, you'll see this in the tweet shortly, but I have Morton projected for right around 6 strikeouts, and I don't even know if he gets that much. To me, this seems like a 5 strikeout game.
Beautiful work there, Doc. I appreciate you and your in-depth breakdowns as always. A little more than under strikeouts. That was surprising. I thought you were going over, and you say, nay, we're going
Not this
under.
one.
Under. So shout out to you there, Doc. Before we go, as always, I would love to hear about the foundation, your foundation, and more importantly, obviously, the golf tournament, because the golf tournament is what people want to hear about and potentially enter.
Yeah. So thanks again, as always, to you and to Jeff for giving me this platform. So For those that don't know, my mother passed away in 2019 from complications due to ALS, which she battled for about a year and a half. And ALS, more commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And so shortly after her death, what we did was we started a not-for-profit, a foundation in her name for two things. One was to keep her memory alive, and two is that to raise money so that we can donate it to families that have loved ones stricken with ALS. So for those that don't know what ALS does, primarily is it kills the motor neurons in your body. So like a motor neuron is my brain telling me, wave to the camera or touch my hat or what have you. When your motor neurons die, what happens is you lose the ability, the brain sends a signal, but there's nothing there to get it, essentially. And so then you lose the ability to move, to speak, and to breathe eventually. So people who have ALS need 24/7 care most often, or more often than not. So last year for our golf tournament, we raised $7,500 approximately, which we donated to two families, and they were able to pay for somebody to come in and care for their loved one for almost a month. And so we're trying to get either a third or fourth family for this year to make enough money for that, or to give them somebody more money so that they can have somebody taken care of for a longer time. So the golf tournament is on June 10th here in Minnesota. So I certainly don't expect anybody to fly up here and play. We do have a ton of teams already, but I will obviously be there. And yeah, it's just anything we can do to spread the word, and anything we can do to spread the word about awareness for ALS, because it's a very rare disease. Only 1 in 100,000 people in the world is affected with it. And it's not, there is a strain of it that is familial, but that's not the kind that my mom had. So it was like one of the most unlucky breaks to have something that only 100 and some thousand people have. So we just want to raise money so we can help out people so they don't have to go through what we did. So appreciate the shout outs in the chat. Thank you.
No problem. As always, can people still sign up for the golf tournament?
Still can. Yeah. We're still taking applications. We're still taking registrations. I
looked up at the calendar. I was like, holy shit, June's next month.
It's coming up. And then, we got people sponsoring holes. We have people sponsoring parts of the tournament. There's a dinner. It's a whole, there's door prizes. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So it's a whole day of activities from everybody that said that they would donate. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Like I said, 100% not for profit, and all proceeds go to families who have loved ones who have ALS.
Yes, this is not a Spin Doc's front, unfortunately.
No.
Shout out to you, Doc. We appreciate you.
I actually have nothing to do with controlling the finances of it anyway. That's an independent person that we have managed that.
That's lovely. Doc, thank you as always. Lucas Ryan, shout out to you, my man.
Thank you.
We appreciate stuff like that. And Cheshire Cat, I hope you get your raccoon problem.
Thank you.
Squared away as always. Doc, again, thanks. We'll see you back here on Monday. We appreciate you as always. Follow him on Twitter at SpinDocSports. You can find me on Twitter at Jose Bouquett. Say hey to us on social media. We'll see you guys next time.